I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing, you've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.
Hey guys, welcome to the Oracle of Lilith. This is the Oracle of the day. I woke up with a song on my brain. It's one of those songs that's kind of like an earworm, if you will. It's that song What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow. So that's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out what's popping, okay? So keep in mind, this is general reading. This is general session. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I do offer personal and private readings and sessions. All that information and my social media will be down in the description box below. So this is the Oracle of the day, and we're going to find out what's popping, okay? All right. Tell me what's popping. Oh, is that 3? We're going to take them. Okay, so we have the Poet of Avon, the Storyteller, Fame, Stagnation, Pride. We have Matriarch, Mother of the Homestead, Rejection, Opportunities, Consequence. Okay. We have Just Reward, Evaluation, Respite, Dawn, the Shepherd, the Red Shepherd. Okay, you guys. You know, actually, this is one of the decks that I consider like my heavy cards. You'll notice I use them in a lot of readings where there's some density, some lower frequency or what have you, whatever you want to call it. It's still part of life and we need to talk about it. But anyway, but what I'm getting from these is the light aspect of the Mausolea Oracle. So I'm getting like, there's something being restored here for you. And we have fame here. And maybe it could be that some of you guys are fixing to pop off in your job or what have you. And for some of you, I think you're getting comfortable with being seen. With this pride here, what I'm feeling is a healthy self-worth. Feeling like what's coming to you, the opportunities here with the Matriarch, the opportunities coming to you are yours. You feel worthy of them. You feel like you deserve them, even though, you know, I'm not sure you had to do as much as you did to deserve this. I think this is something that is karmically yours because you've done a lot of deep work. And it's interesting. Then we have Just Reward, Evaluation, and Respite, which I feel like this is just validation for you guys that what is coming is yours, honey. You worked for it. It's yours and you're more than worthy. And it's time that you step into that. I feel like there's just a lot of people who have been working. And along the way, you've been getting people who give you accolades and you're doing a great job. And you may even have gotten some kind of financial, your finances may start to turn or opportunities have started to show up or they're about to. And it's like the universe has been telling you this whole time that what you're working towards is for you. It is for you. Your only obstacle is really getting into the vibe of what you're trying to manifest. And, you know, I feel like all the work you've done, all the things you've done have been to get you to this moment where you walk into this sense of worthiness, of acceptance of where you are and what you've been through. We have Just Reward here. You know, understanding that the rewards that are beginning to trickle in or will be beginning to trickle in or this opportunity that you may hear and, you know, you may hear whispered about if, you know, you work at a job or something like that. Your business may start to trickle a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's like the universe is saying, this is yours. We're bringing it to you. It's time for you to believe it, though. It's time for you to walk into the truth of it. It's time for you to stop stifling yourself. And you guys, as you're doing this work I think you've already done, or you're continuing to do, I feel like you've been healing parts of yourself, parts of your wounded self. And because of that, it's allowed you for your work to start to show in life, but you aren't in the receiving energy as much as the universe would like you to be, because you haven't stopped and said, you know what? I've really done some stuff. I really overcome a lot. And you know what? It's time for me to get my just reward, right? It's time for me to get the good stuff now. The negative stuff, the heavy stuff, We've done that. We've worked through it. And we've probably worked through it as much as we can right now. Okay? So now it's time for me to see the universe kind of work with me and give me some stuff that keeps me going, right? And I understand this. I feel this. I have felt this. I no longer feel this way, but I have felt this. And it's like being in an energy of... it's like being in this energy of I want to do more, I'm driven, but energetically I need a lift. Like I'm driven to do this, but I need a shot of energy from the universe. And you're fixing to walk into a time where you won't need those shots from the universe as much because they're going to be coming and becoming everyday kind of situations for you. That means that the stuff that's been moving for you or begins to move for you will become an everyday thing that's happening. Like you're gaining every day in some way. I hear gain. For some of you guys, it's prosperity. For some of you guys, it's people. For others, it's opportunity. It's different for different people. But I literally feel like a magnetic pull. Like the universe is starting to, it's almost like I see two hands before you. And that is all of the people who are watching this in a line. And there's an energetic pair of hands, golden, with the golden energy that's pulling energy to you so that you can be better illuminated for the opportunities, so you can be better illuminated for the gifts and abilities, the resources, the prosperity. Okay, so and the reason why they're able to do this is because you've done work on yourself. And I feel like a lot of you have gathered peace about what you're supposed to be doing or are doing. I don't like the word supposed to because that's not a good word. I like the word that you're doing it. You're already in it. Because I feel like even if you haven't done the action, you're in the mental space of doing it. And a lot of times, well, most of the time, things manifest from that internal space of thought and creativity where you work it through. And then the action comes forward. The action is what makes the magic work. Okay, so, in order to make the magic of your life work, in order to get the universe to kind of work with you, you have to show the universe that you're willing to put action into it. I feel like a lot of you guys have already done that. If you haven't, you're about to start, and this is going to happen for you, okay? But for a lot of you, you're going to the next level of manifestation, and oftentimes we don't talk about the levels of manifestation, and there are levels to it. Every once in a while, you'll get something that just, boom, there's no staging to it. But if you have a big manifestation come in, there usually have been signs along the way, like I was talking about earlier, when the universe gives you little shots of like, yes, keep doing it. Yes, we want you to continue. Yes, you're on the right path. You're thinking about the right thing, or I don't like that either. I don't like the need for it to be right or should. I like for it to be action and movement. Okay, so yeah, so I feel like a lot of you guys are either in that mode or about to get in that mode. Pay attention to your validations. It will, even the smallest validation at first can give you enough energy to keep going. Really, that's how I manifested getting out of bed after being in bed for 6 years because of lupus. It was very, very difficult. I was physically weak. I was mentally in a really dark place. I was emotionally almost dead, unalive, but it's an emotional thing. When you suffered for long periods of time, you take on this kind of gray, shrouded energy around your light body and around your chakras. Not everybody, but those of us who, who walked close to the edge. So for me, I had to completely wake up again. It was I had woken up many years ago, but my dark night of the soul was really long. So, I had to shake off that grayness. And a lot of you guys may need to do that. You may need to clear your energy often. How did I get that shroud off of me? How did I get that casted kind of just, we have casted light on our light body, and then a lot of times if we get into dark places, a lot of times when we're working on our shadow, we literally take on like a shroud. And there are keys within us to help us unlock those shrouded those shrouds around our energetic body. And usually there are obstacles that need to be overcome to do that. And, you know, every day that I got up and I started moving, and as I started moving about, I woke up to my reality and I began to see all the math. I mean, I had so much stuff to work through, you guys. It was overwhelming. Not only did I have all the stuff around me in my life, you know, my finances, my family, my house, my health, my teeth were all broken. And I did not know how I was going to be able to overcome that. And so what Spirit did with me, which Spirit was really Lilith at that time. I didn't know it was her, but I started making these small goals, and they were daily, like get up and move those boxes out of that corner. Get up and go through those boxes. I might not have been able to move them, but I could go through them. I went through a lot of my old boxes in my house, a lot of my old baggage. And it was not just, and I didn't realize at the time, but me getting up and moving around wasn't just a physical, mental, emotional healing. It was spiritual. I was literally going through the baggage in my house, okay? And Spirit would give me good things. Every now and then I would get like a shot of like something that happened that helped me know I was in alignment. A lot of times for me, it was numbers started to repeat. And it wasn't 1111. It was 22, 22, 22, 22. And I would go eventually to remember, because somebody had told me this years ago, and I just completely wiped it from my memory. I didn't even pay attention to it. But I found out that I have master number 22 in my destiny number. Sometimes people reduce it to 4, but other numerologists call it a 22. The 22 feels right. It explains my life. So that was one of the signs that because I looked into it. I went where I was curious. I tell people to do this, and it seems like such a little thing, but it has a huge effect. So I went towards what I was curious, and I kept seeing 22, and I was like, why am I seeing 22 all the time? 22, 22, 222, multiple 2s in a row. And to come to find out, I was a master number 20. I am a master number 22, which immediately changed my frequency. My frequency completely changed when I walked into that awareness. So that's an example of the shots of energy that you get along your journey. And what it feels like is you guys are going to either start to receive that level of manifestation, that level of growth on the regular, or you're going to the next level of manifestation where those kind of things come every day. Okay, those kind of things come every day, and you become used to the frequency of it, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean you take it for granted. Always be grateful, but you get used to having those hits of energy on a daily basis of whatever that is. And then you move into like bigger manifestations, powerful manifestations. It doesn't mean that the manifestations along the way are not big, because they feel big when you make the connection. But what it means is that you've opened yourself up to the possibility of huge leveling up being done with one hit, with one shot kind of thing. So it's like this work attunes your energy. It attunes your frequency to get into the energy of feeling what you're trying to manifest. That it's very hard to do. Okay, so I'm not saying you're going to wake up tomorrow and do this if you haven't done it yet. But if you can have just moments where you touch the face of what you're trying to manifest, and I mean face symbolically, of course, and feel the energy of the joy of receiving whatever that is, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, you move energetically closer to the frequency of what you're trying to manifest, okay? And I feel like a lot of you are going to be seen, and that means at work, at school, however, you're going to be illuminated somehow in some area. And that is something that Spirit is probably trying to get you used to. Because when you're talented, it doesn't matter what area this is, when you're talented, when you keep yourself, when you're afraid to be seen because of confidence issues or self-worth issues, it stifles what you're trying to do. It stifles it because you're not willing to put yourself out there. And many times when we're trying to accomplish something, there's an element of we need to put ourselves out there. That's our leap, right? So I think a lot of you are moving into the frequency where you're going to allow people to see you. Like you're going to be seen more. And this could be whatever area. Okay, it could be dating, it could be work, it could be whatever. So, and you guys are going to be okay with that. You're going to be good with that. And in fact, I think instead of being reluctant to be seen, you're going to move into the energy of wanting to be seen, of wanting people to see your work, or wanting people to get to know you, or wanting to let love in, whatever this is for you guys. And it takes a lot of healing to go from example. I'm using myself as an example because I'm here and I can use myself as an example. But it took a lot for me to go from being in bed for 6 years in pain, like horrible amounts of pain, on a lot of medication, and I completely cut myself off from the world. I didn't watch the news. I didn't watch TV. I watched YouTube. Okay, that's what I did. And I played video games and I slept and I laid in bed thinking about being unalive because I was so miserable. Okay, that's my reality at that time. Everything around me had crumbled. Everything around me, even things I didn't see coming, crumbled. Okay, so a lot of you know what that feels like in your own life, like what the energy I'm trying to communicate here is. It is being below low. Okay, it's a hair's breadth from crossing over kind of energy. And to go from that to where I am today took a lot of those hits of energy from the universe. It took a lot of those like nudges and yes, you're doing a good job. Yes, I know they will support you because I was supported. And I'm just like you. I'm a person just like you. I've had a lot of obstacles in my life and I've had a lot of trauma in my life. And I can just tell you and use my life as an example that when you begin to do some of the work, when you open yourself up to working with the universe, when you put everything you have in it because it's all you want, the universe begins to work with you. And you will find that you're very supported by angels and ancestors and guides. You'll start getting intuitive hits on inspiration on how to move. I had some very small acts of faith at first that I didn't understand. And, this is an example. There was one time where out of nowhere, Spirit was like, you need to make a money bottle. Okay, so this was money that I put in this like bottle, and they were like, we don't want you to spend it. And what happened is that then I had a major ice storm come in, and there was no way, because I live out in the country, there was no way to really get money, but I had that bottle, and that's what the money was for. It was for me to like get stuff we could eat while we didn't have any electricity during a snowstorm. Our pipes were frozen, so we needed some things, right? And I had that money in hand in cash, because at that time, up to then, I didn't even keep cash around me. Money and me didn't have a really good relationship at the time. I didn't have a good relationship with anything, and I was working on everything at the same time. So that's an example though of how spirit can move. It can tell you, put $1 aside a week and just have faith. That is one major example in my life, how I learned to have faith in my own internal guidance. Like I learned how to pay attention to the psychic hits I get, and I didn't listen when they told me to go buy a certain kind of heater. I didn't listen, and I wish I should. I wish I would have. I will this year. I will this year, and I didn't. And we lost electricity for like, I don't know, it felt like over a week. I don't remember exactly, but man, it felt like forever. So that's just an example of how spirit works with you when trying to get you to a place where you can receive from the universe the higher levels of manifestation. Okay? All right, guys. So that's what's popping. That's a lot that's popping from 3 cards, wouldn't you say? I really appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you beautiful magical creatures next time. Be sure to subscribe. Bye, guys.